If you were a tobacco merchant in the 1700s, it meant one thing: you had money. John Glassford, of the Glassford family located in Glasgow, Scotland, fit that description perfectly. As a tobacco lord, he dominated the financial scene and used his money to indulge in worldly desires and selfish personal pleasures. Based on what we know about him, he bought luxurious furniture, extravagant properties, expensive food, and a commissioned family portrait. Painted by Archibald MacLachlan in 1767, John Glassford and his family hangs today in the Glasgow Museum and Library's collection, generating around 4 million tourists each year. While this seems like an innocent portrayal of an upper-class, privileged family, this painting holds a deep, dark secret, which reveals itself to all those who are willing to pay attention. With the usage of contrasting colors, large subjects, and everyday objects, MacLachlan unknowingly portrays a controversial, unfair divide of social and ethnic classes. Upon first glance, this just seems like your average family portrait. There is nothing too unique about this painting that would invoke millions of visitors per year. Sure, you have bright, beautiful, contrasting colors, depicting the lavish lifestyle of the Glassford family. But there are millions of paintings from this era similar to this one. In addition, there is nothing special about the Glassford family except for the fact that they were tobacco merchants. Even with this in mind, John Glassford wasn't top of his trade and was not the richest man in Scotland either. You may find yourself asking why this painting is so prominent, so famous, so controversial. But if you pay closer attention to the background, there is your answer. Nestled in the top right corner, overlooked due to the darker features and blending in with the background, stands a half-painted portrait of a young African slave boy. Unfortunately, nothing is known about this poor child except for the fact that he was trafficked to Scotland and presumably spent the rest of his years with the family. Owning slaves, especially in the 1700s, was a crude display of wealth and status among the elite, and was not terribly uncommon. Plenty of other families of similar social classes forcefully purchased and enslaved Africans. During this period, slaves were normal. They were seen as nothing more than another piece of property to be bargained for. The little boy was first noticed by the public 240 years after the piece was commissioned. If you were walking by in a museum having no idea why this painting is hanging there, I doubt you would have ever noticed him either. His presence in the painting is similar to other objects, such as the faintly painted rug beneath John's chair, the dog jumping onto one of the younger girl's dresses, or the green parakeet in the window. And, just like every other object in the piece, he is not something your eyes are immediately drawn to. In this portrayal, he is just another piece of property unworthy of immediate recognition. MacLachlan, whether knowingly or unknowingly, depicts a powerful message of discriminating social divides. The main part of this painting shows a rich Caucasian family, dressed in pristine clothing and perfectly done hair. The presence is so distracting that you fail to notice what's hidden in the shadows. The darker side lies a poor young boy of lower social and ethnic class who was kidnapped from his family and home country, forced to serve his enslavers. MacLachlan really shows us this with his usage of colors and subject size. The family is illustrated in vibrant, eye-catching hues, while the boy is practically the same shade as the wall behind him. The whole family has their entire body painted, whereas the boy only has a small portion of his upper torso and head depicted. This dynamic directly translated to how Africans were treated at the time: unimportant, overlooked, and less than. This little boy, who was a similar age to the Glassford children, did not matter to anyone in his life. His presence was nothing more than that of an object, because he did not have the privilege of being born under the right circumstances and of a different skin tone. Two completely different realities, worlds apart, yet experienced feet away. While we may never know what came about of the poor slave child, we can clearly see how his life vastly differed from that of his captors, based on colors and various subjects riddled throughout the painting. His small, yet barely noticeable presence serves as a testament, an important piece of history, of the difficulties of being African during this time period. You were unnoticed, insignificant, property to be bought and sold as one pleased. In the presence of people in a higher social and ethnic class, you did not matter. The painting titled John Glassford and His Family serves as a cruel reminder of the injustices these Africans went through for having a different skin color, and just because it is normalized does not mean it is right. It shows how far our society has come and how far our society will have to come if we want to achieve equality for all one day.